Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. We will begin in a couple of minutes. Let's just give some more time for people to join in. So maybe 1 or 2 minutes past 3:30, we will begin the session. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We shall begin the session. As a way of introduction, I'm Nachapa. I'm representing Incubate Hub. And today, in association with VidyaShilp University, we are going to have an Ask Me Anything session. Basically talks about the iBELIEVE contest 2022. A little bit of iBELIEVE contest is basically calling all the creators, innovators, and problem solvers to pitch your idea in a simple 2-minute video. And this 2-minute video can be submitted on the Incubate Hub platform, where all the details will be shared post the session, and probably you would have seen it already. So today in the panel, we have Dr. Umesh MAHTANI. Umesh is a professor, School of Business Studies. And Dr. Umesh comes with over 25 years of experience in finance, accounting, academics, and research. And he has a very expansive experience across India, Singapore, Malaysia, and Nigeria. And we also have Shyam KUMAR, who is the Associate Director and for Outreach. Shyam is a professional with over 13 years of overall experience in the areas of recruitment, campus placement, training, and key account management. So before we begin the session, just a quick sanity check and decorum. I request all the participants to stay muted unless and until you have a question to ask. So the flow of the session will be Dr. Umesh and Shyam will guide us through for a few minutes as to what the program is all about and what they are looking for in terms of your pitch ideas. And then we shall open the floor up for questions. You may unmute yourself and ask questions, or you may also post it in the chat section in the various platforms that we are live right now. So over to you, Shyam and Umesh.
Right. Thank you, Nachapa, for this introduction, and welcome to all for the session. As he has introduced me, I'm Umesh. I'm a part of the VidyaShilp University in the School of Business, and I'll be taking up the Business Management Studies program sessions over there. Plus, I'm a director of the startup management program that we run at VidyaShilp University. This is going to start in July this year. Now, this is a program which is specifically designed for would-be entrepreneurs. Our objective is to award a postgraduate diploma in startup management after 1 year of this intensive session. And this program will be delivered by founders themselves. It has been designed by them. And we also have a lot of VCs, investors who will be coming and giving guest sessions. Academicians also will be involved in delivering the sessions here. Now, the whole objective of this is to give all the knowledge which is required for an entrepreneur to set up his own venture. Even if that person, the person who's joining this program is not interested in starting immediately, he can join any startup as an employee, as a staff over there, and we will facilitate that placement as well. And our courses will run across various interest areas such as leadership, strategy, finance, legal, everything that an entrepreneur needs to know about before he goes and sets up his own venture. One unique aspect of our program is that we will have a large number of founders, investors, who will be available to mentor these students. And these students will then have some guidance on how to take it forward, take the idea forward. And they will also be connected to the network of all these startup founders and investors. And if their idea is found to be feasible, viable by these founders themselves or the VCs or the investors, so there's a possibility of getting funding at the end of the program itself. So this is a program that we are starting in July this year, which will go on up to May next year. Now, today's session is basically a awareness session on the pitch contest that we are hosting, which is along with the Incubate Hub, which we call as iBELIEVE. And I now request Shyam to talk a little bit more about this contest.
Thank you very much, Dr. Umesh. Hi, everyone. My name is Shyam. I am from VidyaShilp University, Bangalore. I am the Associate Director for Fruition and for Career Services. So today we are going to discuss about the pitch contest, the necessary things which are required in creating a successful pitch. I believe most of you would have prepared for your future in terms of giving interviews or in terms of building up your career. When you go to a personal interview, the first question most of them would ask is, tell me something about yourself. Where you would have to summarize your individual profile in a minute or two. Similarly, what we are looking at here is to look at your pitch, wherein your ideas to be presented in a couple of minutes. So, what is the necessary thing which is required for a successful pitch? The most important thing is to catch the attention of the investors, or who are the end users. Is your product or is your services B2B or B2C or a D2C? So that is something which you have to explain. And what is your product all about? And not necessarily your product should be unique or which is something new into the market. It can be an existing product, but then with new features. And how are you going to solve this problem? These are the most important aspects which you have to cover into the pitch. And if I have to give you an example of any particular product, so I'm having a pen with me. So if you look at this pen, this is a handmade pen which has got a seed behind. So after using this pen, you can use the seeds for growing. It has got chili seeds. So similarly, something has got seeds and different sunflower seeds. So this is just to explain your idea can be as simple as this pen. It is about your end customer. How do you target? Who do you target? And where do you target? It is very easy to get in an idea, or you would have a lot of ideas with you, but then it is very necessary to present that idea in a particular manner where you should catch the attention of the investors. So this is the most important aspects, and you should also look at whether you are going to have a product which is a physical product or a service or a service industry or a digital interface. These are the necessary things which you have to keep in mind, and you have to be very clear in terms of giving your pitch. Who is your end users, and what are the necessary things which are required. So, and also do not forget that most of the startups in halfway or in the beginning, because they do not have a proper guidance or they do not have a proper pathway, and that is the place where we are going to come and help you out, where we are going to build you to build you through your journey of startup. So this competition, wherein we have deadlines for submitting this pitch contest is May 5th, wherein you have to submit your video submission, and then on 12th of May there would be an evaluation of this video, which would be by the panelists, and 16th of May the winners would be announced, and there would be 3 winners and who would have an exciting prizes, which includes cash vouchers with 50,000 rupees for the first prize, and the first runners up would have cash vouchers worth 30,000 plus other goodies, and the second runners up would have 35,000 rupees of cash vouchers and other goodies. So you can submit your videos which should not exceed 2 minutes, and please be very open about your ideas, and also try to demonstrate your product if you have a sample of your product in the video, which would give you a better chance. So this is a small brief about the pitch contest, which you can put it across. So now we would be open for questions, wherein we would invite all the participants who are all there. We can look at the question.
Thanks for that, Shyam. Yeah, if the audience have any questions, you can type it out in the chat section, or you could also unmute yourself. Meanwhile, Shyam, would you like to just talk a bit about the genesis of this whole program and the current outlook in the ecosystem and the need for this, right? When it comes to students here.
Yes, Nachipan. So, if I'm looking at ideas, so I myself have started a company way back in 2010. It was successful for a certain period of time, but then over a period of time, I did not have proper guidance, and I failed. And I see a lot of startup enthusiasts who's got a lot of brilliant ideas, who have no guidance or no pathway which is provided by anyone. And that is a place where most of them are even scared to start something new. And if you're looking at the startup ecosystem, we are currently at 95 startups, wherein this year alone, we are not even completed halfway of the year. We are already with 14 unicorns. And last year alone, we had around 44 unicorns out of 95. Imagine the last couple of years, the number of unicorns which is coming to the. So the idea which is there with an individual shouldn't die down. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to give them a guidance, a pathway where we would start helping them out. It is not a one-way communication. What we have here, we are trying to have a mutual understanding, or I would say mutual ways of working towards, wherein we work together and towards achieving a self goal. So our program, why we have chosen this particular program is to again provide guidance, as I told you in the first place. There are a lot of youth who have got a lot of ideas, but they don't have a guidance, or they don't have a pathway. That is the place where we are going to come into. And this is going to be a 1-year program, wherein we are not going to look at the basics of your management program. It is going to be a very unique program, which has got an academic program of 6 months and 6 months of mentorship program, where you would be handled by industry mentors who are successful startup leaders in the industry. They would be mentoring the students Post that is when a student would have, or a group of students who have an idea, would have an exposure to pitching their idea or starting their business. If they are looking for funding, we are having our own incubation center. Yes, we would love to help them out in setting up the business. Or if they are looking at a placement path. When I say startup, it is not necessarily that everybody is going to be a founder. There are few people who would also be interested in working in startups. We are going to help them getting placed in startup also. So this is the genesis, if I'm looking at it, and this is the current trend which is going upwards.
Thanks, Shyam. Just taking one step back regarding the 2-minute pitch contest itself, right? We have a question from Bhumika. Bhumika asks, how does one get an idea to even pitch, right? Like, even you may be aspiring to be an entrepreneur, but how do you fix on one idea, and what are the key pointers that you need to narrow it down with?
So if I'm talking about idea, an idea should be self-made. So, sorry?
No, it's fairly an open question. Yeah, I get it, but please go on.
So if I'm talking about ideas is self-made. If you should come up with your idea or a particular idea which you have. I would not be feeding you what ideas you would have to come out with. It can be as big as I told you, as creating a seed pen, which is an eco-friendly pen, or starting up something into EV sector, which is the most upcoming sector. You could have ideas in any sector, not necessarily a particular product or service. It can be an imaginary product also. We have already got few exciting entries, and of which contest I would say it is something which we have not even thought in our dreams. Those kind of which have come. So it can be anything under the roof, anything in the universe, not necessarily any particular.
Okay, let me add on to this. The most important thing of the idea is it has to solve a problem. It is a problem which everybody is facing. Now, just look at what Uber and Ola have done. They have solved the problem of your transportation, that you are not able to get a cab right in front of your door. And this is what they have been able to do through their startup venture. You are able to now call a cab and bring it right up to your door, and they're going to pick you up and drop you wherever you want, which is all digitally informed to them in advance. Now, this is an idea which has solved a problem for the population, solved a problem for a particular segment of the population. So you have to first look at what are the problems that we are facing. What are the different types of, I need grocery in my house. How do I get it? So I have got now Big Basket, and you have got all this blanket, and everybody is now delivering it. So these are different types of problems, or these are the ones which we are doing manually, and if technology can assist in ensuring that this particular activity is going to be done more efficiently, more accurately, then this becomes a seed for an idea. So that's the where your idea should come from. Ideally, solve a problem for the human population.
Right. Thanks for that, Umesh. So we have a series of questions. Maybe Shyam has already addressed some of these. First one being, is there any particular format that we need to follow for this 2-minute pitch video? Any key pointers that we need to keep in mind?
I have already explained. So the simple rules are: it should not exceed 2 minutes. It should cover what is the problem and who are the customers whom you are, who is your target audience, and what is your product, and what is the end result, and what is the scope of this particular product. That's it.
Is there a technical format they are asking for in terms of JPEG, or I'm not sure in terms of what?
No, it is the flow
MPEG.
of the pitch itself.
Okay.
The flow of the pitch.
Flow. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Sure, got that. Thanks. And the next one being, is the idea supposed to be technical or SaaS based, or is it open to any and all fields?
Yeah, we are not restricting any ideas. It has to be technically delivered. It could be as simple as you want to collect the waste which is available from, let's say, restaurants and you want it to be utilized in a particular way. Technology could be your enabler. You could use a technology platform, but it doesn't mean that technology has to be there. It could be anything else.
Yeah, a follow-on question to that is there any preference to a particular industry or a particular sector where the ideas might come into fruition, right, while enrolling in this?
See, our whole objective is that the idea should be viable and feasible. It's not something in abstract that you create an idea. That's all what we are asking. Could be any sector, could be any industry. If you are coming up with a particular idea which is going to help the, let's say, the oil industry, oil and gas industry, why not? So there is no restriction on that, but it should be feasible, it should be viable, it should have the detailed study should have been done about it, that it is going to be possible to convert it into a business.
Right, thanks, Umesh. The follow-on question is, I think Shyam did address this in certain ways, is will we get any mentor support to scale this idea into a solution, and what are the timelines, let's say from today I pitch this and when can I visualize that this may go into the market?
Okay. Dr. Umesh, can
Yeah.
I go ahead on this? Or
Yeah, let me just clarify here. This particular pitch contest is to get your ideas on board. Okay? Now, converting that idea into a business is a different journey. You need to start up from zero and look at how you're going to set up your company. Now, to do this or to go through the journey, you would definitely need a mentor and you need some training. You need to know the knowledge. You need to understand what are the pitfalls, what are the challenges you're going to face in that journey. And for that, we are running this program, which is the Startup Management Program at VidyaShilp University. Now, if you want to go through the program, you will definitely have a mentorship. You'll have some mentors who will be guiding you across that journey during the next 10 months of the program. And by May next year, you'll be ready to set up your operation, set up your startup with guidance, with mentorship already assigned to you. Plus, if your idea is found to be feasible, it has got a lot of potential, you may even get the funding at that time. So that is a whole plan of action over this period of 1 year up to May next year. I hope that answers your question. But if you are looking at mentoring without joining the startup management program, that's not something that we are going to be able to arrange for you.
Right. Thanks for that, Umesh. So the next question that we have is, post the program or post the pitch contest also, what sort of access do we get in terms of, let's say, labs or sandboxes or technical support in terms of the network and so on? So depending on the ideas. So a little bit, if you could shed some light on that.
Yeah, Shyam, you want to take this?
Yes. See, when I talk about the program, it is a 1 year program. Post that 1 year program, what we have is an incubation support. So what is necessary? What does an incubation center support, or how does it support? It would look at the HR functions, or productivity, or digital functions, or legal and finance, or infrastructure and cloud functions. All these areas is something which we would support with for a certain period of time that is defined, or that is agreed. That will be agreed mutually upon once we look at the ideas and now look at the feasibility of the ideas. That is when we would look at how long we are going to support and how long are we going to go ahead with this thing. So yes, we are going to support you fully post the program also.
Right. Thanks for that, Shyam. We have another question where the candidate asked, what will be the judging criteria to evaluate this 2-minute pitch video? Like, is there any particular criteria that's already laid out that we can keep in mind?
Umesh, can you?
No, you want to take this or you want me to?
Can you please take this?
Okay. So objective here is to get an idea which, first of all, it should be a solution to a common problem. As I said, it is a human problem. It is something to do with an industry, or it is something to do with a service. So it has to be a feasible idea. It has to be a viable idea, and it is an idea which you can convert it into a business. So these are three categories that we are criteria that we are looking at. It should not be something in abstract, or if it is not something that you think can happen, but you have not done your research on that. So we expect you to do a lot of study about that particular idea, about the industry that you want to service, and come up with your solution.
Right. Just to add on to what Dr. Umesh said, we look at three important. So distinctiveness, which is looking at the uniqueness of the ideas and solutions, and comprehension, which is the communication and clarity, and the feasibility of the pitch. These are the three things which we are.
Got it. Thanks, Umesh and Shyam. So we have a follow-on question. Let's say the idea post the 2-minute pitch contest, right? Let's say it is focusing on a particular industry, on a particular problem. Will we get access to data sets and market research reports to actually work on and validate these ideas?
Yes, if you come and join our program, which is the postgraduate diploma in startup management, we will arrange all the databases for you. We will arrange the software, and we will ensure that you have the resources that you can work on your program, on your idea. So the objective is to give you a platform where you can even develop a prototype of your idea that you have, and even test it out in a potential customer. So during the journey of your in the startup management program, we have divided into 4 terms, and each term is going to have a certain milestone. So you start off with your idea, you convert it into a feasible solution, and you even have a prototype which is built in the 3rd term where you will test it out with your customers. So you'll go through the entire journey so that at the end of the program, your prototype is ready and it is ready to be launched in the real market, the actual market.
Thanks, Dr. Umesh. With that, we come to a close to the set of questions we received over emails and other platforms. Since we have 4 more minutes, if anybody has any questions, we can wait for a couple of minutes. You can post it on the chat section, or you could also unmute yourself and ask the questions. Okay, we have one question from Anish. He asked, what stage of idea is being expected for incubation? Anish, do you mean how mature the idea is, or if you have started working on it? You could also unmute yourself and ask this.
Yeah, sorry, disturbance of the directions. Okay, let me just take a shot at this. What I expect his question is that if he wants to become part of our incubation center, at what stage he should be in that particular idea, the journey for setting up his venture. Now, the incubation center is going to look at your idea at the idea stage. You're not looking at something which you have already put in the market. From there on, your incubation starts. You're not looking at you have already developed the idea, you're in the market. That's not what we are looking at. You're looking at you have got an idea, you have done some groundwork, you have done some research on that industry, and you have some idea about how this whole proposition or the idea is going to be converted into a business. And yes, at that stage, you're ready for your incubation center.
Right. Thanks, Dr. Umesh. So I think we are good to close as we are closer to the finishing time. So thank you, Dr. Umesh and Shyam, for this insightful session. To the participants, I urge you to submit your 2-minute video before May 5th. You can find the application form on startuppitchcontest.incubatehub.com. And this particular session will also be on demand in the website, where you could always come back and refer to. And you could also suggest your friends and peers to take part in this. And we look forward to all your submissions. And we have one last question, I think. Can we submit PPT instead of video? So currently, I believe it's a link to your video, Anish, but Shyam and Umesh, if you want to take that.
Shyam.
Okay, no, I would say no to a PPT. We are ideally looking at video to be present to us, because the whole purpose of creating this contest is to hear it from you. What is your ideas about? If you put it in PPT, we could presume it as anything. I would request you to please submit a video wherein we could hear it directly from us.
Yeah, and if they have any more questions, I'm sure they can submit the questions. I think they have email IDs of you guys, right? Shyam, everybody.
Yeah, they can reach out to us as well. We can route it to Umesh and Shyam from here.
Okay, fine. That sounds good.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Dr. Umesh and Shyam, for this wonderful session. Thank you all for being part of it. We look forward to submission.
Thank you, everybody, for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Nacho.
Thank you.